With me is Dan Bortolotti, investing expert and financial blogger. Dan, let's talk about exchange-traded funds. Explain to me why I should invest in an ETF versus a mutual fund.
Well, exchange-traded funds, the number one advantage is simply cost. You can easily find exchange-traded funds for 1/10 of what you would pay for a typical mutual fund. I think the other real important aspect of them is focus. You can invest in exactly the asset class you want with an ETF with razor-sharp focus, whether that's short-term bonds, real estate, Canadian equities, whatever.
Okay, so when you say asset class, what you mean is I can invest in the Canadian stock market in one fund or the Canadian bond market in one fund.
Yes, but not only that, also segments of the Canadian bond market or the Canadian equity market with again, a very sharp focus.
Okay, let's talk about fees. Now, there's fees to buy the investments and fees to own the investments. Let's talk about fees to buy. Mutual funds may cost something to buy, they may not. What about ETFs?
ETFs always incur a trading commission when you first purchase them. Your brokerage will charge you typically between $10 and $30 to buy them, but many independent brokerages now, you can get those costs down as low as $5 a trade.
Okay, so you're less economical to buy them, but is that offset by the lower cost of owning them over the long term?
Yes, over the long term for sure. If you're only investing for 6 months or a year and you're not buying large amounts, then you're almost always better off buying mutual funds to avoid those brokerage fees. But if you're going to hold an investment for 15, 20 years, or even 5 or 10 years, you are much better off in the long run to pay that fee up front and save the management fee.
Okay, Dan, last question. How many ETFs are there out there right now? And I understand there's a ton. And how many do you need to put together a very sound long-term portfolio?
Well, there's 165 or so traded on the TSX, and there's probably 800 or 900 traded in the United States. So there is overwhelming choice.
How many do you need, though?
To build a portfolio, you need between 3 and 8.
Great. Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.